Doctor, the same qualities that make you a great clinician can keep you broke. That's right, the same skills and tools that make you an exceptional physician can render you a poor money manager and erode your wealth. Here's the deal. The way you do money is the way you do life, and the way you do life is the way you do money. Without a conscious awareness of the forces that shape your financial choices, you're doomed to make the same mistakes that keep many doctors on the hamster wheel, trading their time for money and working well beyond the age at which they imagine retiring. See if this sounds familiar to you. Dr. Jim is a brilliant neurosurgeon who said to me, "I just don't get it. I make more money in a single year than my parents made in an entire lifetime. Today they're off enjoying retirement. My financial advisor just projected that if I keep doing what I have been doing, I can retire at maybe age 72, 70 if I push it. I want to retire at 60 or 65. How does a smart doctor like me keep on making such dumb financial choices?" Today, I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, and more importantly, how you can make smarter money choices so you create the financial freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. Specifically, let's talk about 3 traits that serve you when you're practicing medicine and often stand in the way of building wealth. I'm Dr. Vicki Rackner. I am a retired surgeon who's written 3 books about doctors and their relationship with money. I help doctors move from burnout to the lives they love. Now, before we dive in, I need to be completely honest with you. I have made every single mistake I'm going to talk about today. If my life had a bumper sticker, it would read, "Heal thyself." I remember getting a tip from a doctor friend about a tech company that was about to go public. She said, "It's the next Microsoft." I didn't personally back that company and lost every penny I invested. I've made loans to people who will never pay me back. I waited too long to put my money to work making money and often wished I could go back and make different choices once I completed my residency. I would start investing right away. I have often wondered, why did I make those crazy choices? I've spent time beating myself up and promising myself that I'd be more disciplined with my money. I would promise to stick to a budget and then fall off the wagon. I finally created different financial results when I understood that there were reasons I did what I did. I started treating myself with more compassion, then embraced new money thoughts and created new money habits that supported new money outcomes. In 2008, as an entrepreneur, I started hearing doctors tell stories about their financial woes. I thought I was the only doctor who had made these shameful money mistakes. I soon discovered I was not alone. Most of the doctors with whom I spoke were suffering in silence. They, too, felt like they were the only ones with financial pain. I started collecting doctors' money stories and started seeing trends that separated thriving doctors from struggling doctors. That research became the foundation for everything I teach today. And here's what's important for you to know. I don't serve as a financial advisor, and I do not offer investing advice. What I do is help doctors develop healthier relationships with money, ask better questions, and form healthier habits so that they can get the results that they want. So, when doctors like Dr. Jim ask me, why does somebody as smart as I am make such stupid choices? Here's how I respond. First, you are not alone. You are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You are facing a systems problem. You invested so much in learning how to take care of patients that it's just natural to take these skills and apply them to wealth building. But these are not really one-on-one transferable skills. Let me give you 3 specific examples about how this goes wrong, and more importantly, what you can do instead. All right, wealth eroding behavior number 1, over-reliance on intellect. The first wealth eroding behavior has to do with doctors' reliance on their intellect and their problem-solving skills. This is something doctors really count on. Medical technology is changing at a rapid pace, and we have confidence in our ability to keep up. The problem, though, is that we know with wealth building, information is just information. What's most important, what determines the rate at which you build wealth, are your behaviors. The evolving fields of behavioral economics and behavioral finance say that the condition of having a human brain means that we make predictable cognitive errors. And in fact, the smarter you are, the more likely you are to fall into these cognitive traps that in fact erode wealth. Now, if you wonder, is this an important idea? Let me just share that of the 20 past years of Nobel Prizes in economics, 6 have been awarded to this field. Understanding that we're making illogical choices matters to you. When I was in my surgical residency program, I was mowing the lawn and I ran over a soaker hose with a lawnmower. I thought in my hubris, well, I know how to sew tubes back together. I was just involved with an operation on the aorta. I know a radiologist who said, hey, I'm really good with pattern recognition. I'm going to get involved in day trading because that's just patterns. I'll learn when to get in and out of the market. Well, what he did not factor into his model is just luck and market responses. This is something that could not be predicted. So just as I didn't have control about a patient's innate healing potential, so too, investors don't have control over the random things that happen in life. I was speaking with somebody who is involved with a lot of accredited investors, people who earn enough money or have enough wealth so that certain investment opportunities are open to them. And he said to me, you know, after 20 years of doing this, I'm coming to believe that the higher the intelligence, the greater risk for these cognitive errors described by behavioral finance. This idea that my intellect, my smarts can help me build wealth can backfire in many ways. Your intellect will allow you to justify choices that don't make financial sense. For example, you can convince yourself, I deserve this. I've worked so hard for so long, I deserve the splurges. This is especially profound when physicians finish their training and launch into their careers, where their incomes can increase by 5 to 10-fold. A realtor will get a hold of them and say, this is so awesome. Let me show you this Dr. Mortgage. You can afford that starter mansion you've always wanted. Then they get towards the end of their career and they say, what if I would have just increased my style of living by 2 times and then taken the rest of that difference in income and made investments early? I would be in a different position. Now, if this first wealth eroding behavior resonates with you, I want to offer you a free copy of my book, The 9 Money Mistakes That Doctors Make. This book goes deep into all the ways our medical training can work against us financially, and more importantly, what to do about it. You'll find a download link in the description, and you can download it after you've completed watching the video. Now, what I'd like to do is offer a wealth building alternative to this wealth eroding behavior. The wealth eroding behavior is counting on intellect and problem solving skills. But what I recommend is that doctors replace this with the wealth building behavior they already know, the power of processes and systems. From our very first day of medical school, we're taught how to evaluate and treat patients. We have a protocol for going through this evaluation that's like a highly orchestrated tea ceremony. It's very ritualistic. What if you brought in a system to manage your money? Let's say you want to buy an Oriental rug. Say, well, let me think. In our family, we have a system for assessing whether we should make an investment or a purchase. Maybe we decide that if an investment is over $1,000, we'll sleep on it. If it's over $10,000, we'll check in with our partner. And we have a checklist that we go through and decide, is this spending really going to happen? Understanding that we can be the victims of our intellect allows us to appreciate the wisdom of putting systems in place to keep us safe. So we're replacing a behavior that's going to erode wealth with something that's going to help us build wealth. This leads us to wealth eroding behavior number 2, relying on intuition. If you speak with any seasoned physician, they will tell you, I have hunches about patients. I've got this intuition, and I ignore that intuition at my own peril. I can trust it. It's usually right. Further, they have an intuition about whom they can trust. Hey, if I am going to send my patient to a colleague, I want to make sure that that other physician is trustworthy. So, here is why this is a problem. You may want to trust your intuition about your response to an investment story. Does this sound like a good investment? Is the person who's bringing it to me somebody trustworthy? When it comes to money, we run the numbers. You always want to have somebody vet your investment opportunities. Trusting your intuition is the way that many doctors get into these dumb doctor deals where they lose everything. Here's why it's a problem. Just keep in mind Warren Buffett's 2 rules of investing. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. So when you're guided by your intuition, you will almost always end up losing money. All right, so here is the wealth building alternative. Recognize your limits. Know when to say no. So I remember I was sleeping one night. I got a call from my mom. Honey, I'm sorry to wake you up, but I'm in the hospital and I need you. The doctors tell me that I need my gallbladder out. Could you come out and do it for me? Well, it's always great to be trusted by your mother, right? But I had to say no for a couple of simple reasons. The first is I didn't have a license to practice medicine in Hawaii. I didn't have privileges at her hospital. But the most important point is that we do not treat people that we love because this emotion can cloud our judgment. Because I love my mother, I had to say no to her. When you deal with your money, emotion can enter the equation. You will have blind spots. Have somebody there helping you look into your own blind spots and keep you focused on the numbers. This brings us to wealth eroding behavior number 3, following the standard of care. I spent a fair amount of time generating revenue by serving as an expert in medical litigation. And as you know, in order for a plaintiff to prevail in a medical malpractice lawsuits, they must meet 3 criteria. First, there's a violation of the standard of care. Second, the patient was harmed. And third, the harm is a direct result of the failure to meet the standard of care. So, we physicians are all very aware of what the standard is. We're always comparing our behaviors to other doctors. I remember a mentor once told me, don't be the first or the last person to try a new medication. Be somewhere in the middle. Now, this comparison does not end once we exit the hospital. We get to the parking lot and we look at the cars that the other doctors are driving. We compare square footages of our homes. We compare where we vacation. We have a propensity to keep up with the Dr. Joneses. But keeping up with the Dr. Joneses can make a doctor broke because no doctor knows what's really going on behind those closed doors. I remember when I was a resident, I was invited to a family event in Portland. So my husband and I drove down there, and there was this father-in-law of one of the guests who drove up in a Bentley. He and his wife were impeccably dressed. They talked about their luxury travel. I later learned that he was an orthopedic surgeon, and I remember on our drive back home, my husband joked with me, "Hey, is it too late to switch to orthopedic surgery?" A couple of years later, this man died, and what was discovered shocked everyone. He had not left his wife anything but debt. He was living a financial lie. So know that you never really know what's happening in another physician's life. They could be, as they say in Texas, all hat and no cattle. Well, what is the wealth building alternative? It's to stick to your own knitting. Understand that your financial choices are about you and what's important to you and what you value, instead of being guided by keeping up with what other people do. Instead, compare your actions to what is important to you. Are you walking your own talk? All right, these are 3 examples that I talk with doctors about. And then I say, look, you understand this now. You might regret the choices that you've made in the past, but now you have some more insights about why this happened, and more importantly, how you can make better choices in the future. And hopefully you can treat yourself with more compassion. Then I drive home the point that wealth building is not big and complex. It's really a process of simplification. And the most important point is that it's not what you know that matters. It's what you do that matters. In a sense, physicians have this built in their experience as clinicians. Only about 40% of patients take medication as prescribed. Patients know what they should be doing. They know how they should be losing weight or getting off the couch and being more active. But that knowledge doesn't translate into actions. So, doctor, let's focus on the actions. Let's put in place some systems and behaviors so that you can really get to where you want to go, which is not having to work until age 72 to retire. Let's make a plan to help you spend your time and your money in ways that align with what's important to you. So what's your path forward? If what I've shared today resonates with you, I want to let you know that you are not alone in this journey. The financial challenges you're facing are not a reflection of your intelligence or your worth as a person. They're simply the result of applying clinical skills to a completely different domain. The good news is that once you understand these patterns, you can change them. I've seen thousands of doctors transform their financial lives by developing healthier relationships with money and implementing the right systems and behaviors. In my upcoming book, How Doctors Build True Wealth, I walk you through the complete framework for earning, spending, investing, and protecting your money so that you can make conscious choices that help you build the life that you want. So remember, the same qualities that make you an exceptional doctor, your intelligence, your intuition, your desire to follow best practices, can be redirected to serve your financial goals. You just need the right framework and the right support. Look, you've dedicated your life to healing others. Now it's time to heal your relationship with money. You deserve to have financial peace of mind. You deserve to have choices, and you deserve to create the life you truly want. Now, don't forget to download your free copy of the 9 Money Mistakes Doctors Make using the link in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, please share it with a colleague who might benefit from this message. This is Dr. Vicki signing off for now. Remember, no matter what has happened in the past, doctor, you can create a brighter tomorrow. Now, please go watch my video about the surprising relationship between money and burnout.